Anyway, thank you very much for your time, ladies and gentlemen.
Hashim, I want to speak to you.
About what?
About the crucifixion.
About crucifixion. Become a Christian and I'll speak to you.
So you want to speak to me about it?
يا زماني ساعة واذكر زمان الأقوياء.
Why is Jesus telling them this Old Testament law if it is no longer applicable?
Let me answer that.
Please do.
The Old Mosaic law
New Testament.
applied to the tribe of Israel right up to the point when Jesus accomplished everything on the cross. He said,
Where did he
the
say
law
that?
applies until everything is accomplished. And on the cross,
Where does he
he
say
said,
that? Until everything is accomplished.
It is accomplished.
Are you going to show us evidence?
And also in Deuteronomy, we hear how God, right from the start, said this Mosaic law is just for a small tribe of Israel, not including anyone else, to be followed while they are
Where does it say that?
ruling
Can we see that,
themselves
please?
in
Can we see the evidence?
Will do. To be applied while they are ruling themselves in the promised land, and this rule came to an end very soon after Jesus had accomplished.
Show us where it says the law applies only until the crucifixion.
Jesus
Show us
had
that.
accepted the
Show us that from the Bible. Go on.
this. And
Show me where it says the law applies only until the crucifixion. Go on. The Mosaic law doesn't apply post-crucifixion.
Until the scepter is taken from Judah, which happened.
Sorry,
with
did
the
that happen
destruction-
before the crucifixion or
no,
after?
it happened when the temple was destroyed. The law never applied to the Gentiles.
So let's see where that is. Go on.
Never applied to
Let's
the
see where it
Gentiles.
is. Go on. Read it to us.
Okay? Everybody listening?
Yes.
Deuteronomy 5.
Because here Jesus is saying this was a command of God to put to death the children who are basically cursing their parents.
Mosaic law.
Go on, show
These
us.
are
Which
the
verse are you reading, by the way?
commands, from Deuteronomy 6:1. These are the commands.
Deuteronomy, that's in the Old Testament.
Yes.
So you're reading the Old Testament,
describing the laws. The Lord, that includes Father, Son, and Spirit.
She's reading the Old
Father
Testament.
directed me to teach you. So Moses is saying to observe. This is the children of Israel.
Which verse? Which verse?
While
Deuteronomy
you
what?
are in the promised
Deuteronomy
land,
what? Which
while
verse?
you are ruling yourself in the promised land, this rule came to an end very soon after Jesus was crucified.
Are you going to tell us which verse it is?
and
Or are you just going to give a commentary on something that you don't even think it's
for
Jesus
the
thinking?
Gentile, the law, Mosaic law never applied to the Gentiles.
So if the law doesn't apply to the Gentiles, where does Jesus say in the Bible?
Sharia. We are
No, hold on, don't go to Sharia yet.
Now.
Show me in the
This
New
is why
Testament
people
where
are being
Jesus,
stoned
because according to
for
her, she said, Jesus said the law doesn't apply anymore. Show me where Jesus said that. Because according to Jesus, anyone who
Jesus
changes
said,
even a dot, yes, or
everything is accomplished.
anyone who changes even a dot is called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Until everything is accomplished.
Show me where that is in the Bible then. Why don't you show us?
Until everything
Show me in the
is
Bible. Yes, you keep saying until everything is
On
accomplished.
the
Go on.
cross.
Show us in the Bible.
I will come
Show it
back
to me.
next week.
Oh, next week. Why not now? Because you see, this is the
I have
thing.
it
Jesus himself
everything is
said,
accomplished.
anyone who curses their mother or father is to be put to death. And he says this is the command of God. This is Jesus in Matthew chapter 15, which is actually the New Testament. If after 1400 years after Mosaic law, if he still insists that this is God's law, then who is she or any Christian to tell us this law doesn't apply anymore? Okay.
Because it's Sharia for now.
I'll tell you what, tell me something in Sharia. Wait. Tell me something in Sharia that you do not find in the Bible. Go on. Show me any law in Sharia that you object to which is not already in the Bible.
That is not for now.
Where does it say not for now? You still can't show us that evidence. You keep saying it.
Jesus said,
Said what?
let he who is without sin cast the first stone.
Was Jesus without sin?
Jesus said, yes, who?
Was he without sin?
Jesus
So why
said,
didn't he cast the first stone?
who?
That means he himself broke the Mosaic law. If Jesus himself broke the Mosaic law, which he said everyone should obey, and anyone who basically changes even a dot is called the least in the kingdom of heaven. And by the way, that verse which you're saying about that verse which you're talking about is actually a later edition, and you know that.
Sharia for now.
Show me anything in Sharia that you object to, which is not in the Bible.
Control by putting people in prison. In 3,000 years ago, they didn't have prisons.
So what did they have? What did they have then?
Well, they had to find other ways of control.
What did Jesus do?
But Jesus said, "Do not."
Okay, what is Jesus going to do in the second coming?
Mosaic law outside the tribe of Israel.
In the second coming,
after Jesus had accomplished now.
In the second coming, what will Jesus do to the disbelievers? Are you going to tell us? What is Jesus going to do to the disbelievers in his second coming?
Disbelievers can reject his kingship.
And what is he going to do then? What is he going to do to people who reject his kingdom?
He doesn't force them into his kingdom.
What does he do to them?
They take themselves out of it.
What does Jesus do in the second coming to the disbelievers?
Let them go.
Let them go where?
Away from God.
Does he not put his enemies as his footstools?
He lets them, if they don't want Jesus as their king.
What does he do to them? What does he do to them?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay, let's read the Bible. Let's see whether she's right or Jesus is right. Okay? This is what happens to Christians who basically are in denial about Jesus being all peaceful, all loving, when their own Bible is against them. It's a testimony against them. Because Jesus, according to your own Bible, he doesn't just let them go. He's going to kill them all.
And it is like, when they are separated from God, then this is anguish.
What do you mean ambush?
Anguish to be separated from God. But you
are you saying he's not going to kill them?
You can choose.
Are you saying he's not going to kill them?
This is you're talking about a parable.
Oh, I see. And what does a parable indicate?
It is a story which is a similar message to what will happen.
Similar message to what?
By killing, it means separating with Jesus. If you don't accept him
it's
as
not
king,
about separating. And you know that very well. It's not about separating.
From God because you don't want heaven.
Okay. In this parable, when Jesus says, but those enemies of mine.
Paradise where people do not want to accept the rule.
Are you going to listen? Are you going to explain this parable to us? But those enemies of mine who did not want me to be king over them, bring them here and kill them in front of me.
Yes.
What is the parable about?
That is a parable, a story about an earthly king who goes to a far country, is away quite a long time, and leaves his people with the instructions and some people accept the instructions and they do a good job. Some people just don't want the rule, so they don't obey the instructions. They just don't even try. And in this story, the king, who is not God in this particular case, but it is
it's
an
not
analogy.
King. Sorry, the king is not God.
It is an analogy.
Oh my God, analogy to
analogy.
See, now she's saying analogy to God. That is what a parable means. It's an analogy. Of course, it's an analogy. But to whom?
Rule,
just says Jesus. The warrior king here is Jesus.
The earthly king.
Now wait. You see, this is what I call watering down the Bible, the New Testament. It says here, this is basically the commentary. It's called the guilt. Listen to the commentary of the Christian scholars.
Once you know the awfulness of being separated from God, because
but hold on. The parable is about the warrior king, Jesus Christ. You should know that. Okay, Jesus, according to here, is the one who's going to kill his enemies. It says here in Gil's explanation to the entire Bible, he explains that.
It means that the word is like seed, and the lost sheep doesn't mean that we are really a sheep. It means that we can be like a sheep. There are analogies. It's not exactly.
Let's see if you're right or the commentary is right. The commentary gives explanation to the entire Bible. Says that this was to explain what happens to the Jews. When Christ shall come back a second time, Jesus will destroy the Jewish nation for rejecting him, and that all the other enemies will be slain and destroyed as well. Death and destruction will be the fate of whoever does not accept Jesus' reign as the warrior king. So this woman here is saying they will be let go. No, they will be killed. All right. This is the Christian scholar explaining what the words actually means. Not like this person who's trying to water down the New Testament verse, which talks about the killing of the enemies of Jesus in his second coming when he's going to destroy them all. He's not going to turn the other cheek, lady, that's for sure.
They will not be in paradise because they don't want the rule of paradise. They don't like paradise.
Who doesn't like paradise?
They don't like the rule of Jesus. What does Muhammad say that you will have in paradise? What does the Quran say that Muslims will have in paradise?
Who doesn't like paradise?
Well, what is your idea of paradise?
Who doesn't like it? Show me one person who says I don't like paradise.
What is your idea?
You know, at the end of the day, the reason she's changing the topic now to paradise is because she has realized that the Bible is not about all peaceful talk. It's not about all turning the other cheek and loving your enemy. Because Jesus, in his second coming, is not going to be peaceful and loving like the way they want us to believe in these 3 years of Jesus' ministry on earth. It is not about the 3 years. It's about the totality of Jesus. Jesus in the Old Testament was massacring his enemies. Even children were put to death according to 1 Samuel and the book and Numbers. According to Numbers, everyone was killed except.
Why? And every single
Tell you why?
person-
Okay, you tell me why the babies were killed.
I will tell.
Yeah, go on, tell us.
You why.
Tell me why the babies were
The
killed.
Canaanites. The Bible tells us
Yes, go on, tell us why.
that God tried to bring the Amalekites, the Canaanites, round to his way of working for 400
Can we
years.
see where he says that?
And they were doing abominable things like burning their children as sacrifices to their god
Oh my
Moloch.
God. So kill them all.
And,
So kill the babies.
So if the Amalekites were killing the babies, God does one better. Not only
this
select children were killed,
gentleman,
he says kill
thinks
them
he
all.
knows better than God.
So you're saying your
But
God will know better than the pagan gods they worship?
God
Come
has
on.
the prerogative of taking life.
Where does it say that?
If
That was the
this
reason. Tell
will
us that.
mean that things like burning, torturing children
Where is that?
will
Show me.
come under
Show me
control
where that is.
after 400 years of trying different things.
Show us that. Where does it say that the Amalekites were burning the children and putting them to death?
Do you want me to find it?
Yes, please do.
But you will shout me down when I find it.
Well,
won't
I'm letting you speak when you can't show it.
I-
When you go into this
When-
mode
when
where
I
you
can
only,
show
where you
you-
try to interpret things which are not even in the Bible.
Will you
I'll give you the
listen?
chance, no
will
problem.
You listen
I will
and
listen, yes.
learn?
And I trust you will do the same. That when I'm talking, you will not shout.
Well, I think you were shouting down me, wouldn't you?
Oh no, you were very sanely not saying
Right,
a word when I was
okay.
speaking.
So
on.
here it says.
By the way, she's going to show us where the Amalekites were burning the children.
You see, he's starting to shout me down. Okay.
Stop being a baby.
Right. Okay. You must not do worship. You must not worship the Lord your God in their way. That is the Amalekites. Because in worshipping their gods, they do all sorts of detestable things the Lord hates. And the example he gives, they even burn their sons and daughters in fire as sacrifice to their gods. And we know that this god was Malak.
Does it say that there?
Yes.
Where does it say the Amalekites?
He's talking about the people that they of the lands that they had.
No, but you said the Amalekites.
Yes, and the Canaanites, people in the land.
Can we stick to one topic at a time?
So
You're
what
going to
they
show us
have
the
been
Amalekites burning
doing-
their children.
Yes.
Go on.
Here it says, and
It doesn't say Amalekites.
God is saying to the children of Israel, if you do the same things as the Amalekites do, then you will get the same judgment as they do, because God, our God, is a just God, and He says the sort of things that the Amalekites did, and it's specified they were burning their children as sacrifice to their gods, and this had been going on for 400 years. God is patient, but at the end of the day, He will bring things under control.
slaughter the babies.
He has the prerogative
To slaughter the babies.
take life and to bring the babies out of harm's way. He will judge, and
way for harming them.
if they are innocent, they will be taken into the hands of God. This is the best way, rather
that is
than
the explanation?
selling into slavery,
wait-
which is
wait a minute.
Muhammad's.
Hey, it says it in your thing.
No, wait. Are you saying? Are you going to? Are you going to? Hold on. Are you going to tell us that was the reason? Are you going to go away now?
Keep the virgin girls for
Are you going to
yourself.
go away? At least let me finish. At least let me finish making the point.
It is not because they are infidels.
I'll tell you the reason why God actually killed them. It tells you in the Bible.
Why are you running?
Do you want to listen to your Bible
Why are you
or do you want to run
running
away? Do you want to run away? Okay.
ran
Basically, she said the reason that these Amalekites and the children were massacred in cold blood was because they themselves were burning their children to their gods. Now let's see what the Bible, in the very verse I was talking about, he actually gives a reason why they were burned and why they were killed. This is the first chapter of Samuel 15. First Samuel 15, verse 2. Let's read from verse 1 onwards, so they don't say I'm quoting it out of context. Samuel said to Saul, I am the one the Lord sent to anoint you king over his people Israel. So listen now to the message from the Lord. Verse 2 says, this is what the Lord Almighty says. I will punish the Amalekites for what they did to Israel when they waylaid them as they came from Egypt. So this is the reason. Not because they were burning them to the gods, the false gods, but because the Amalekites, God is saying, I will punish the Amalekites for what they did to Israel when they waylaid them as they came from Egypt. So basically during the Exodus, when the Israelites, they were coming from Egypt, the Amalekites attacked them. Like she said, this was 400 years ago. 400 years ago, they ambushed the Israelites when they were returning from the Exodus. And then God commands them, the Israelites, to go and attack the Amalekites and totally destroy all that belongs to them. Do not spare them. Put to death the men, women, children and infants, cattle and sheep, camels and donkeys. So this is an utter lie which the Christians want to spread, that the reason the children and the infants, see how they separate the two? Because infants are anyone less than 2 years old. The reason they were killed is because of vengeance and nothing else. It was for revenge, a revenge attack against what they did, for what they did 400 years ago to the Israelites. Because at that time, the Jews, Israelites were weak, so they couldn't take revenge. But now they're stronger than the Amalekites, so now they have to take vengeance based on the command of their God. So their own God commands them to kill these babies. It was nothing to do with the pagans. Nothing to do with the pagans burning their children to the false gods. But for vengeance. And it's very clear. So one thing is that she lied why they were killed. And secondly, she does not even know the reason why they were killed, when it is clearly mentioned in the very chapter, in 1 Samuel 15:3. And there are many other verses in the Bible. For example, in Numbers, it talks about kill every male. Yes, and every female except the ones who have not slept with anyone. That means God is commanding them to save only the virgins. And this is what it says in Numbers. And we have so many such verses about killing of babies. And I showed on Matthew 15, where Jesus is proclaiming the old command from Exodus of anyone who curses the mother or father shall be put to death. Again, Jesus, after 1400 years, is commanding the same thing which is in the Old Testament. So it's not only an Old Testament thing, it is something that Jesus advocates even in the New Testament. And we don't believe that is what Jesus proclaims about killing babies and children. Yes, this is not what Islam teaches. This is what the Bible teaches. The only book that I know which talks the holy, which is considered to be holy from a major mainstream religion, which talks and advocates killing of babies and children, is the Bible. The Bible is the only holy book which condones the killing of babies and children, unlike any other holy book that I know of. So there you go. The reason was given and the atrocities were given. The atrocities done by the pagans, if that were bad, then what the command was given by the Jewish God or the Christian God, as they believe in the same God, is basically worse than that. Because they were to kill everything that breathes, even the animals were not spared. I mean, okay, I can understand the people made mistakes, they made errors, they committed sins, and they they basically committed sins against God's own chosen people. What did the animals do that they were massacred? Why were the cattle, the sheep and the donkeys, what was their fault? Why were they massacred? And this is the question for the Christians. Perhaps they can put some sense into these atrocities which are mentioned in the Bible. So animal rights, if you're a Christian, ask yourself this question. Why were the animals massacred? What was their fault? And those who love and adore children, including myself, yes, ask the question. We ask this question, why were the babies targeted by the biblical God? Why is the biblical God obsessed with killing children? Which I ask. Unfortunately, this is an answer we don't get. The only answer we get is no more in the New Testament. But I showed you Matthew 15:3 and 4, where he talks about killing children as well. And anyone who curses their parents shall be put to death. So there you go. Anyway, thank you very much for your time, ladies and gentlemen.
Hashim, I want to speak to you.
About what?
About the crucifixion.
About crucifixion. Become a Christian and I'll speak to you.
So you don't want to speak to me about it. So you don't want to speak to me about it.
I want to speak to a Christian on that topic.
After you get baptized.
Or you can become a Muslim. Oh, sorry. Which one's yours?
You don't speak about it.
Or you can speak about Christian.
Hashim, I'm having